I had spent the past 2 summers doing internships, one here teaching in Boston and one working with an education nonprofit in Mexico City last summer. It was kind of like almost doing like an inventory of my experiences in college and thinking about what have I done and learned and what skills have I gained, and hadn't had the opportunity to do any research during my time in college, and felt like learning and practicing doing research in my undergrad could be like one really meaningful way to spend my last summer before graduating. A lot of my focus in undergrad has actually been on religion in the United States in particular. But when I learned about Santa Muerte, what really caught my eye was that there's a significant queer following. As someone who is queer and who has studied a lot of kind of like queer religious community in the United States and dynamics of queerness and religion in the United States, was suddenly so struck by seeing like some of these juxtapositions of like we have narco traffickers flocking to Santa Muerte, but then we also have queer people doing this, and what's happening here. I'm going to use kind of a big generalization when I say this, so I want to preface it with that. But devotees to Santa Muerte come from three main groups that feel pushed out of the Catholic Church for various reasons. And those kind of three big reasons are poor people who feel pushed out of a rich institution, narco traffickers, because the Catholic Church generally, not always, but generally won't forgive them for these crimes or bless their business in the same way that they will ask Santa Muerte to bless and protect their business. And the third piece being queer people, whom generally the Catholic institution, um, does not honor, does not recognize, does not marry. Um, and so if we think about those three groups, I was really drawn to like why are queer people and narco traffickers flocking to the same religious figure, and uh, felt that often in media and in academia, the narco trafficking side of Santa Muerte's following is a lot more sensationalized, right? It's a lot catchier if the news can say, we found a Santa Muerte altar at a drug bust in a drug house, than it is to say, look at people finding community and liberation and acceptance and embrace in Santa Muerte in a way that they may not have in more mainstream institutions and religious spaces. In New York, there's a woman, Aurelie Vasquez. She is probably one of the top three most prominent leaders in devotion to Santa Muerte in the world, and she's a trans woman from Mexico. Um, and she organizes monthly. She has a public altar in Queens, New York, and organizes monthly like devotional services to Santa Muerte. And so I came to New York to do this, knowing that Aurelie is this trans woman leading this community in New York, and that there's a fairly sizable queer and trans population of devotees in New York. Um, but what really struck me when I got there, and the thing that almost feels so obvious and yet I missed, was that there's two pieces to this, and one piece is like embrace, right? That queer people are embraced in Santa Muerte. They are embraced and affirmed, welcomed. But the second piece, and the piece that has fascinated me this summer, is that Santa Muerte, that Aurelie Vasquez herself is this leader to Santa Muerte as a trans woman. And when we compare that to like the Catholic Church and who we see in leadership, right? We see men, we see unmarried men, we see like men we assume to be heterosexual, or at least non, you know, not openly queer. And so then to see Aurelie Vasquez, who is this like openly queer woman leading Santa Muerte, felt like such a striking uh, contrast. And so the second question that's emerged in my research, and I'm still, rolling it over in my head, is both what does it mean to have this community where queer people are embraced, but also where queer people are deeply respected as leaders. And Aurelia is deeply, deeply respected in this community that is not all queer people, right? She's not just a leader among queer devotees, is really the leader among devotees in Mexico, in New York. Um, so that's been an interesting second piece, is both queer leadership and like queer affirmation.